Good evening, everyone. I'm Jeremy Simon with Off Square Music. Welcome to our all-original open mic. It's good to see so many of you out tonight. We've got a wonderful lineup. You know, these all-original open mics have really been growing nicely, as evidenced by our lineup. We've got 17 performers tonight, some great poets, some great musicians. I'm sure you'll have a wonderful time. I'll be up later to talk about some of our upcoming events. For right now, I would ask that you please silence your cell phones. They can be a little bit distracting to those up here on stage. Here's a technical tip for you, by the way. I know some of you maybe don't like to turn off the sound on your phone because then you forget to turn it back on later. Whether you have an iPhone or an Android phone, did you know that you can set it to Do Not Disturb mode until I leave this location? And then when you leave, it'll automatically turn back on. If any of you want to know how to do that, I'd be happy to help with iPhone users. I don't know Android, so I can't help you guys. But yes, it's a helpful little trick to silence them temporarily. So we're live streaming, and this will be on our YouTube channel. So when you get home, you can check it out. You can share that with friends or family that might not be able to be here in person. So just go to YouTube, search for Off Square Music. You'll find us. We come right up as the first result, and you'll find the live streams right there on our homepage, on our channel there. Let's see, donations are very much appreciated. There's a red donation box over there by Keith. It's a $5 suggested donation for these evenings, which just helps us cover the cost of rent. Off Square Music is a nonprofit, so we do appreciate your support. We are doing 10-minute sets tonight, which is 2 songs for the musicians, sort of a little bit more flexible for poets. We do have a lot of performers tonight, so if you're doing poetry and you're able to keep it a little bit under that, it would be appreciated. We sometimes do 15-minute sets, sometimes do 10-minute sets. It just depends on how many people sign up. So, you know, have enough material prepared that you could go either way. We never really know until the last minute based on how many people we get. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Your MC this evening is going to be Terry Loncarrick, as usual. She is also your first performer this evening. And Terry has had an eventful month. I will let her tell you about it in her poetry.
Well, there's nothing quite like celebrating American Heart Month with your own personal narrative. Not something I was expecting. I am usually very private about my personal health information, but I needed to break my own rule to help other women. Women can have very subtle symptoms, hence heart disease is called the silent killer. So in that spirit, I'm sharing 3 poems of a life-altering experience I had on January 28th. A herd of elephants stampeded, then sat on my chest. I will do anything to get out of a bad movie. The ambulance ride a blur. I was riding high on adrenaline, as I often do in a crisis situation. My humor, a total mask for the fact I was scared shitless. Is this a cruel joke? I had a heart attack just days before American Heart Month, right before seeing Amy Grant admit on TV she had some hidden heart problem. Grief came crashing at my door. The realization that a major organ had failed me, or maybe I failed it. The Bible says the body is a temple. Is it possible mine had become a New Orleans street fair? So much to process in so little time. A raft of new meds, a radical change in eating habits, the letting go of my delusions, stripped naked, forced to admit I am not and never was invincible. I didn't need Amy Grant to tell me that. I knew it, God knew it, the heart doctor knew it. A moment of complete darkness, total surrender, a punch in the gut, the stark realization I could have died. I never will be the same. I am now a heart attack survivor, a chance for redemption, a time for transformation. I made it out alive. I am not helpless. I am, as one friend described it, living my second life. maybe it is my best life. I sure as hell hope so. I lost 40 pounds before I retired, so I thought I was home free, but I stopped being active. And there is some heredity in my family that I didn't really think about, and I was in the care of a doctor. So I was totally shocked when I was in Marcus Cinema watching a really bad Mark Wahlberg movie and had a heart attack, and when I was admitted, 2 arteries had 99% blockages. So I was like 1% away from not being here today. So I feel like somebody was looking out for me. Second poem, Nurse Brittany. I didn't even know your last name, yet we shared a precious moment, an intimate moment, in a dimly lit hospital room. Just before the news bulletin, a plane and helicopter crashed, then plunged into the icy waters of the Potomac. You arrived at just the right moment to witness my tears, my fears, to talk about the baby who was soon to exit your belly. Do you have any idea how reassuring it felt to hear about new life when my life almost ended? After the boulder landed on my chest, after the baby aspirin, after the nitroglycerin, after the blare of ambulance sirens, the reality sank in. I really did have a heart attack. I lived to tell the tale, and you, a compassionate stranger, bore witness to the crash of my vulnerability. One more poem. This is the positive one.
Right, sorry for the technical difficulties there, but it seems we're back online. So, Terry, now it's up to you. If you want to share that, it wasn't a long poem. Do you want to do that once more?
Do you
for
guys
us?
want me to read it again?
Could you? Thank you.
Thank you. My new mantra: faith over religiosity, gratitude over bitterness, resolve over despair, acceptance over resistance, prayers over powerlessness, energy over debilitation, trust in the miracle of medicine, faith in my own healing, belief in my soul and spirit. All right, we have the dynamic duo of Max and John. I think Max is on the keyboards, and I don't know if John's singing or playing an instrument. Oh, he is. Okay, a guitar. All right. I called out for Timothy, and Timothy isn't here. Timothy Gaines. He's a no-show. That's okay. All right, gentlemen, come on up.
That's good. Thank you. Oh, jeez. No! I don't usually bring sunglasses. Okay. Maybe a little bit higher. Thank you. Oh, wait, can I get it? Can I get it a little bit to the middle here? Hello? I guess I could take the time to introduce the show. Okay. I am. Yes. Play a chord. Oh, let's get a C. G. F. All right, okay, that's good. Oh, okay. It'll be good. It'll be good. I'll be. No, oh, jeez. No. That's. I'm a tall guy. Come on, man. All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Max Firak. I'm back. I did the second Friday, and I decided to come back again every 2 weeks if I can. So I'm gonna do something a little bit different this time because my roadies could not join me tonight. So, so I'm here doing for you 2 songs. The first one takes place. I guess we were kind of following the story again. It takes place back in May. So I get back home from a dance, and I'm exhausted. Everything is, and I need to think up a plan of what I'm gonna do next because I forgot. Let's sing them the song so they understand. Okay, thank you. This is Incoherent Love Song. You ready? Heading westward to Iowa is not the plan I want you to take. As long as you stay, I like the group better this way. We've all been through so much. It's not now we have to lose touch. I'm not big on being incoherent, but I wrote this song with you being gone. I know you're far away, but I hope you hear it. Oh. I'm not in love anymore, and I don't think I'll ever be. So if anyone doesn't understand what they wished for, well then I hope to leave the group. Our message is incoherent but easy to hear. So here's to the summer. Oh, let's finish the year. Eighth grade dance, we've all had enough. Some of us have had it rough. But if you can hear me, let me say it clearly. To be in our group is the best thing you'll get, kid. Cause to get something you never had, you gotta do something you never did. So if you love us, don't accept the point, then our love story is incoherent. Run away. Oh. think I did a pretty nice job, but I'm gonna give this man all the credit right here. So we practiced this we only got 3 days, so. And he did amazing, because he doesn't understand music. So. No, you don't. You understand the chords of the guitar, and I love that, but, you know, it was pretty hard to get you into 4/4 timing, so. Just kidding. Okay, well, this next song I kind of did for you guys last time, but I thought it was so good that I would change the lyrics and do it again for someone that didn't come. And, well, so, hold on. I forgot the lyrics, because sometimes I forget the lyrics. We're going to get the lyrics. And while I'm doing this, I will tell you all what the song is about. This song right here is called Liar. I wrote this song about the character in the story I am writing. And this character, he's very flawed. He's very flawed in life, and he needs a fixer-upper. And when he gets it, he discovers that these people that saved him are just the same as him. Because every rose has its thorn. I thought that was so cool, because I guess everybody has their problem that comes into conflict and tears everything apart. But I never thought that I'd be the one to discover my own. So this song is called Liar. Today I lied. I need you to know that I tried to fix what I'd done. You said, I'm sick of you, don't look at me. I shivered, but my day went on. Soon I arrived down on my knees. I shouted, why can't life spare me? I don't deserve decency. I lied to you, but it's fine. I lied to you, call me liar, but it's fine. The only color left in my life's the blood on my hands. The attempt at killing my chance of friendship. I carry burdens, I carry lies. I can't circle back to win our family ties. Oh, now the spin image of me has died, 'cause I looked at you and lied. I'm a terrible mess. Sure, I can act. Why is no one impressed? 'Cause it ain't a dream this time. I guess don't trust me, 'cause I'm egotistical. So stop expecting honesty from people who lie to themselves. So I tell the truth. Mistakes are my own thorn. I lied to you, but it's fine. I lied to you, call me liar, but it's fine. The only color left in my life's the blood on my hands. The attempt at killing my chance of friendship. I carry burdens, Thank you. Let's talk. Oh, that's always so fun. Okay. How do we get this down here? Doris Day? Put it like that. Put it down there. Hey, good thing. Put it on the keyboard. I'll take this down.
Terry, we're ready for you.
Smooth. And now we have Johnny Norris. He's been a regular here, and his songs are a little bit poppy, a little bit country, and he's going to share his tunes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Terry. Ah, there it is. And start off with a song I wrote long distance with a friend of mine who lives in Boston. This is called Tank's Not Empty. We only ever drive one car. Mine's adorned with specks of oil and tar, but roars to life when I turn that key. I must have someplace else to be. Tank's not empty. Tires got air. Gets from here on out to there. We start by steering. We end up where we are. Wheels haven't fallen off so far. We only have a single road to travel, a solid one built from rocks and gravel. We take what comes, go with what we get. This ride ain't ready for the boneyard yet. Tank's not empty. Windshield's clear. Gets me there and great to hear. Might be wishful thinking, wishing on a star. Wheels haven't fallen off so far, so far, so far. So I've learned the hard way to love it, determined and bound to cover more ground while I'm still above it. We keep on steering wishful thinking, wishing on a star. All it takes is a hairpin turn. All it gives is whatever we learn. That being said, full steam ahead. Wheels haven't fallen off so far, so far, so far. We only ever drive one car. Thank you. I forgot. I should probably sit down at least for this next one. That's better. I practice sitting down, so I'd better play sitting down, at least on this one. I wrote this one with my son, Johnny Jr., who is also a songwriter and a guitar player. This is called This Then That. No way back to back in the day. Can't turn round, ground fell away. Times roll by, they're here and they're gone. Times roll in and keep rolling on. World turns round, it always does. Never the same if it ever was. Little known paths, mysterious ways. This, then that becomes these days. World turns round, moves right through, spins in space, so we do too. World turns round, it always does. This, then that, what never was. Times they're back to changing again, as they did way back when. Which way's up? What's been going down? What's in this cup? Who runs this town? World turns round, it always does. Never the same if it ever was. Watch your step, learn to steer. This, then that, which way from here? World turns round, moves right through, spins in space, so we do too. World turns round, it always does. This, then that, what never was. Times roll by, they're here and they're gone. Times roll in and keep rolling on and on. Thank you very much. I'm Johnny Norris. I appreciate the opportunity to get up here and do a few of my songs for you. Everybody have a safe ride home. We'll see you again soon. Okay.
Quick note for the musicians out there, we got these new cables that have these auto mute switches on them, so you don't need to wait for us. You can plug and unplug with no pops.
All right, let's welcome Deb Glopke to the stage. Her poems can be wise, witty, and sometimes very surprising. Thank you. Hi. Yeah. Thank you, that's a good idea. Can everybody see? Okay, I have two sort of funny poems. This one's called Forever Home. There is an old woman who lives in a house with her also old female spouse. How do we muddle through when we live in such a zoo? Too many dogs, so many cats, fur on the floor, enough to make a litter, fur all over me. Then the question, who made that pee? They hog the covers, bark and whine. Seems like we are feeding them all the time. But then there are the licks and the soulful eyes that touch my heart and soothe my sighs. And the next one's kind of on the same theme. I think right in these days and times we must look to our pets for the way to go. This is called Our Night Music, and it's written from the perspective of my dog. Tree shadows dance on the ceiling. The old dog paces. Toenails clicking on the floor. Mommy snores. My collar jangles. Reddy licks her paws. Mom coughs. Jangle, cough, snore, lickety-clickety. Jangle, cough, snore, lickety-clickety. Snore, lickety-clickety. Snore, clickety. Snore. Tree shadows dance, the comfort of night music. Thank you. Okay, this is going to be a story because I didn't think I could make it into a poem. And this is the way it goes. Many of you have heard my poem about my late husband's experience as a combat Marine in World War II in the South Pacific. How he fought in 4 battles and was gravely wounded in the last one, almost losing his eyesight when the vehicle next to him blew up. This was especially awful as Bob was an artist. He enlisted at 19 and witnessed horrific things. His vision was saved, and he spent many months in recovery on New Caledonia. Whereas many of the wounded men went mad or died in drunken knife fights, Bob spent his time painting about the war and also pictures of the indigenous people on the island. He became an official combat artist, and his paintings were sent back home to be published in a Chicago newspaper.
He went on to become a well-known book illustrator, muralist, and art teacher. That is the backstory, the prologue to what in many ways is just as interesting. Last Veterans Day, my son Rob, who is also an artist, put on a show of his dad's combat art in the old courthouse here in town. Visitors were fascinated about his story, and it produced stories of their own. Each one had an uncle or a mother or a grandparent who had served in the war, and many commented, I have photos or letters or a uniform in my attic. I should get it down. I haven't thought about this in years. The response was interesting, as though the telling of one Marine's experience had awakened something in these people, but this was only the beginning. Rob had also published a website about Bob's art, which had great importance recently. Several people who follow auctions online contacted Rob after seeing his website to tell him that a portfolio of Bob's combat art was being auctioned off in Richmond, Virginia. Now, we always thought that there was more artwork, but this was a real shock to find this out. How did it get out of the family in Berwyn, Illinois, to Richmond, Virginia? Many, many tense days followed in worry that someone would outbid us, and it didn't seem fair that the family legacy had to be bought. But we prevailed, and Bob came home. Again, there was a lot of feedback about our effort to regain the work and the emotion that this produced. I will share some comments with you. We got a lot of comments on social media. This is one from a professor from the University of Richmond. And he wrote, "Hi, I'm so glad to hear about this. It's really extraordinary work." This was in regards to Bob thanking him, because he contacted Rob to say that he knew about this artwork that was out there and we should do something. He said, "Both of my grandfathers served in World War II, and my maternal grandfather saw combat in the European theater and received a Purple Heart. I teach journalism and am a historian, and have always had an interest in the lives of average people trapped in world historic situations." And I think that's really intense when you think about it. That's what drew me to this work and led me to Google him. Because your father served in the Pacific, it makes his work all the more interesting to me. And then he said, out of curiosity, I am, after all, a journalist. Do you know how this portfolio came to be in possession of a family in Virginia? More on that later. Then there was a fellow named Rip. Interesting name. And he said, "Last year I started doing commemorative military parachute jumps to honor my dad and two uncles who were all paratroopers and made combat jumps in Europe during World War II. Last summer, I traveled to Normandy to watch actual jumps from World War II vintage C-47s into Normandy, where the 82nd and the 101st Airborne Divisions jumped 80 years ago. As the great generation slowly passes away, there has been a resurgence of interest in honoring those who sacrificed so much for us. Your dad's paintings are a wonderful tribute to those heroes. Thank you for sharing." I think in all of these comments, something was percolating. I think there's a bigger conversation to be made out of this story. In our country, right now, tonight, Bob might be called a sucker for choosing to go into battle, while others are praised as patriots for January the 6th. Think about that. There are those who do not know what democracy means or have lost sight of its values. Then there are those of us who are well aware of what is at stake if we as a country lose our way. Our show and the aftermath to it seem to have struck a chord, seem to have awakened in us the importance of telling stories, of remembering. The extent of people's reaction to our experience was surprising. The conclusion to all of this is I was born the year that Bob was blown up on that island. What was the value of his sacrifice? My being able to stand here tonight in public, speaking in this way, that is the value of the sacrifice. Thank you. The result, the reward for what a patriot sacrifice looks like right here. This is what the America that so many suffered to preserve looks like. And to the question of how the portfolio got to Virginia, well, that is a mystery still to be solved. Stay tuned. And there is his work, some of his work that we had in the show. This was tending to wounded comrades. Can everyone see that? And storming the beach. One thing I forgot to say is that we lack a remembrance of history. Our children are growing up and they don't know anything. I heard on the radio the other day that very few Americans can name even one concentration camp in Europe. I can name 4. And I'm going to say them out loud now. Dachau, Auschwitz, Theresienstadt, and Treblinka. We need to never, ever forget.
Now it's time for Gail Harris to present her poems. Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped over poor Carol. I'm so sorry. How could I possibly do that? Carol Alphys.
No worries, because actually one of these poems is about how I cannot be ignored. It is. Yeah, you would have almost thought we worked that out. This first poem is about my neighbor Mark, who was 93 years old. He was like the king of our subdivision. He was a very sweet, gentle man, and he died recently. And anyway, I wrote this poem for him. It's called Mark's Afterlife, Blessings for a Master Gardener. Mark was a master gardener, spent so much time in the yard. May you have a garden thriving and lush, with just enough weeds to pull and branches to trim to keep you from getting bored. May you have a garden with every tool you'll need sharpened, at the ready, and impossible to lose in the ground cover. May you have a garden that invites you to sow, transplant, and mulch to your heart's content without complaints from knees and hips. May you have a garden with benches and chairs tucked into viney bowers where you can pause and listen to the conversation between bird and bud. May you have a garden where patient Helen folds you into her waiting arms and then with a smile says, "Come, my dear, we've work to do." I neglected to mention his wife Helen died 13 years before Mark, so she was waiting for him. Thank you. A seasonal poem. Early March. These piles of snow, lately mountains and fortresses to the neighborhood kids, are shrinking and crusted with gravel and grime. Stretches of lawn revealed from the melting are gray-green, lumpy, and sodden. The skeletal stalks of last year's lilies crack and rattle in a wind that bites. But from under the shelf of curbside ice, a trickle of water glints in weak afternoon light. High above, distant gurgling calls announce a V of sandhill cranes, and that unremarkable patch of mud that will be my garden smells like hope. Thank you. Thank you. And this one is called Middle Child, and it is a true story. I am the fourth of 7 children, 2 sisters and 1 brother, both above and below me, an unintentional yet pleasing symmetry on my parents' part. I have read that middle children often feel ignored, overshadowed by the achievements of their older siblings, outshone by the cuteness of the little ones. I honestly don't remember ever feeling that way. I played guitar, sang in choirs, acted in plays. I daily practiced my French lessons on my poor mother. Maman, qu'est-ce qu'on mange pour le dîner ce soir? I undoubtedly annoyed my siblings by parroting TV commercials, breaking into song, and speaking in strange accents. Whether this behavior was born of some subconscious design or my own natural quirkiness, I cannot say. But this middle child stayed front and center by being the boisterous slice of ham in the family sandwich. They couldn't have ignored me if they wanted to.
We should have a contest for the best metaphors. The ham one just takes the cake, no pun intended. Now we can hear from Gail Harris with her collection of poems.
If I fell down, it would be an adventure, wouldn't it? I'm glad you made it. Okay, this first one is rain. Warm rain melts the ice it made the day before, taps on the skylight. The clean smell of rain on a hot sidewalk after a long dry spell fills the senses like a kiss. Evokes a kind of peace that comes inside the hidden room that speaks of home. Not the place we live in now, the home from when we were innocent and safe, contented in a way we'll never be again. Rain, like meditation, brings us inside ourselves, where breath is calm, unhurried as a kitten's purr. This is also a true story. Chair yoga. The yoga master's voice is calm, serene, cadenced as he moves fluidly as water, twisting his torso, his arms tree straight above his head, palms touching. I try to follow, am stiff and brittle as a tree in winter. Inside my head, I move as easily as wind slides through the forest. My mind does not align with my body. I do not bend. I break. For I am in a different season. He is summer, languid, smooth. There is snow on my roof and in my hair, ice in my joints. I hear it cracking as I move. And this one is the end, and I'm still working on it, so bear with me. I can't die yet. I think about it, fear it, sometimes even wish for it. But I've sworn to try for 100, to claim my grandma's wish. She missed her goal by 2 years shy. I'd like to make it to 115, but life is too expensive now, and I can't work forever. Besides, I think my mind is playing hooky. Today I left my phone at home, and yesterday forgot which wheel needed a new tire. My repairman knew from records on his desk. I'm still not sure. I can't keep two thoughts together in my brain. My attention span is half a sentence long at best. I feel like I've been here before. Old age and infancy are more alike than not.
Okay, a couple quick announcements. We'll get right back to the performers. And thank you for your patience. We had some technical challenges earlier. I think we're past all of that now. So we've got some great upcoming events. Our next ticketed event will be on the first Friday of March. That's March 7th. We're featuring Bad Penny right here at stage left with special guest Sam Jones. Tickets are $10 plus that $2 service fee. You can get that from our website, offsquaremusic.org. You'll find it on the front page, and it has a link to where you can get the tickets. So I hope to see you here on March 7th, starting at 7 p.m. Then we have our open mics next month. As usual, we do 2 each month. We do the regular open mic on the second Friday, which will be March 14th, starting at 7. Featured performers will be Kent Fishburne and Deb Firak. I believe they might bring a friend or two with them, but we'll certainly have Kent and Deb. And then our all original, this one will be on the fourth Friday. As always, that'll be March 28th, 7 p.m. And you can sign up for both of those on the same website, offsquaremusic.org. We also do our virtual open mics on Zoom every Saturday evening at 7 p.m. Sound checks start at 6:30. And it's always a lot of fun. We have anywhere from 6 to 9 performers in an evening. And then Andy Andrick, who's back there somewhere, leads us in some music trivia at the end. And it's a really nice time from the comfort of your own home. If you haven't had a chance to check them out, please do. Just head to our website, offsquaremusic.org, sign up for the newsletter. There's a checkbox for what you're interested in. Just check the box for every Saturday virtual open mic, and you'll get the emails in your inbox with the link. Thanks to our volunteers. As always, we've got Keith Johnson handling audio for us tonight. Andy Andrick helps us with the setup and getting everything torn down at the end. Our MC, Terry Lankarik. And back at the bar, we got Kips back there. Stop by and get a drink or a snack and tip generously, please. And I think that's all I got as far as upcoming events. So let's get back to the performers. I've mentioned this before. I think music and poetry is just so powerful in that it allows us to share things that you really just can't do with ordinary speech alone. And we've already had some wonderful examples of that this evening. Another great example coming up. Please welcome to the stage Trisha Alexander.
And a mic stand. A music stand. Thank you, Jeremy. I still am not plugging it in. I'm so sorry. So usually I share a couple of short poems and a couple songs, but tonight what I want to do is share a couple poems and a song, and if there's time, one more short poem. So I'll check in with the powers that be and see if there's time. I wasn't going to share this one, but one of the poets here. I was talking about this poem, and one of the poets that's part of our local group. I shared it with her, and it gave me the courage to share. Is there a booming, or is it just my hearing? Huh? Okay. I could do a nice Scottish song. Okay, hello? Hello? Should I not be sitting this close to the monitor? Could that be it? Could the mics be feeding back in the monitor? That's old school stuff. It's a little better, yeah, thank you. Oh, it's still there somewhere. Anyway, those of you who know me know that my goal in life is really to lift and inspire. But recently, as I was reading the news, I also want to stay aware, just in case I have to go live in the basement for a month, you know? So this poem came from reading the news one day. How it turned out surprised me. It's called Trauma's Child. Trauma's child, now a man playing a dangerous game. He holds a black belt in deception and embraces the art of suing. Solutions never. Just continuing to blame, 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 using us and theming to break down the me and youing. Amassing power and money, now his cronies gather round, broken children, one and all. Their opportunity is real. Vengeful, fear-filled, eager, saying, we'll tear the whole thing down, believing theirs is the better way, believing this might just help them heal, believing this will make them feel better because they might be right. And minds, but hearts this dark and broken are often too far gone. And minds that close this tightly may never see the light, especially those who've delighted in pain and power for so long. But since compassion leads my heart, and love is mine alone to give, I will witness, I will write, I will sing, I will live. And then one more. This is called Remembering Who I Am. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I am an earthling. Having trouble seeing with this light. I am an earthling, raceless, colorless, gender neutral, centered in life and the longer view, grounded and green and growing, forever following the time-tested teachings of my elders, the trees, rooted and reaching, deepening and expanding, then blossoming, and ultimately gracefully letting go. I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. I live gently with all that is. I breathe easily with all that is. One being all. I am not an American. I am a child of the universe, waiting, patient, and absolutely certain the dawn is coming. Then we will be the light together. Should I move this one closer? Thank you, Keith and Jeremy. taking a step, dreaming a dream. Here in the new day, a new life begins. Having a vision, living the truth. Here in the light, I am beginning again. Taking my time, trusting my nature, leaving behind everything now that doesn't belong. Believing in love, feeling alive. Here in the light, I am beginning again. Hearing a voice rise from the heart, coming together, coming apart, taking my name, creating tomorrow. Here in the light, I am beginning again. Hearing a voice rise from the heart, coming together, coming apart, taking my name, creating tomorrow. Here in the light, I am beginning again. Here in the light, you are beginning again. Here in the light, we are beginning again. And again. And again. And again. Do I have time to read one more? Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is called The Wisdom of the Trees. This morning, I witnessed the trees dancing, leaves fluttering, limbs joyfully swaying and bending and playful, even as the roughest of winds blew through them. Then tonight, the rains came, torrential and violent. Still, those trees danced, almost embracing wind and rain like perfectly balanced partners in an earthy tango, gracefully letting go of both rigidity and dying leaves. Now, in the aftermath, they rest in elegant stillness. Oh, how I long to be like the trees. Thank you.
Everybody, isn't Trisha's voice like 100% back? It's really good to hear that. And now we're going to bring up another one of our cherished regulars, Sue Reckenthaler, to read some poems tonight. Okay.
Thank you, Jeremy. And can we move that chair right turn it the other way? Perfect. Thank you. Tonight seemed to be the night for bringing other things. Show and tell. This is a poem that I shared quite a while ago, and I've added a little update to it and brought my free Peltier t-shirt in the spirit of Crazy Horse. My name is Leonard Peltier. I live 2,011.7 miles from my birthplace of Belcourt, North Dakota. I am a registered Chippewa member of the Turtle Mountain Indian Reservation. I am serving 2 life sentences for murders I did not commit. Even the FBI says they don't know who shot those agents. They also say someone must pay. My name is Leonard Peltier, and I am that someone. My name is Leonard Peltier. I was moved to an Indian boarding school when I was 9 years old. My language was taken away from me. My culture was taken away from me. Now I am serving 2 life sentences for murders I did not commit. Now I live in the United States Penitentiary in Coleman, Florida. My name is Leonard Peltier. Why were my friends at the same standoff found not guilty on the grounds of self-defense? Why was new false evidence allowed at my trial? Why, after all these years, am I still in prison? My name is Leonard Peltier. I am a Turtle Mountain Chippewa. I will die 2,011.7 miles from my birthplace. Someone must pay. And at long last, 47 years of wrongful incarceration, Leonard was released on February 18th of this year. 47 years. Home at last. Welcome home, Leonard. May the tribal fires continue to honor you. Thank you. At the Unitarian church that I attend, we have a group that's called Chalice Circle. And for our February Chalice Circle, we were asked to either write a poem or write a letter to something that was very dear to us, that we loved. The first thing I thought of was My little red ducky. And this is the letter. This is the letter that I wrote to Ducky. Little red and white duck, found under the rose of Shannon bush on that long ago Easter morning. You were brand new. I was 4 years old. For almost 70 years, we have traveled together. Your little neck is crooked from sleeping tucked under my arm. Your little felt bill and feet are now gone. You are minus a wing and an eye. Remember the summer you were forgotten under the cabin bed? How I slept until the neighbor was at the cabin and brought you home, I'll never know. Remember being a comfort to my college roommate when she couldn't sleep? I was a little jealous when I saw you tucked under her arms. For 70 years, 2 kids, 2 marriages, 11 moves, you have been my companion. You are somewhat threadbare and could use a good scrubbing. But Ducky, you carry with you a lifetime of memories that I fear would be washed away. Our bond is unbreakable. I want you tucked under my arm as I take my last breath. Thank you. And this I wrote because I couldn't come up with a poem for my poetry group at the Unitarian Church. I have no written words today. My poem this week turned from words to works. Works of comfort at the funeral to a longtime friend. Works of comfort at the farewell to one of only a few remaining extended family members. I have no written words today. My poem this week tangled in the dream of a high school boyfriend not seen in 55 years. 55 years later, he still hovers in my heart. I have no written words today. My poem this week was shipped off today in a box of clothing for a man who will spend the rest of his days in a mental health facility. My poem in the pockets of the winter coat, offering him comfort and warmth. I have no written words today. Maybe they will return tomorrow. Thank you.
Reminded me of the Velveteen Red.
Had a lot of great poignant storytelling and poems and songs. And now it's good to have a switch and hear some humor from Bryn Jeffries.
I get? Okay, I get this one. Okay, this is great. This is a tough act to follow. You know, there have been a lot of very poignant thoughts here tonight, and now I'm going to follow up with a very windy night. You know, I'm working out some new material here tonight, and if any of you are in the neighborhood next week at Crystal Lake, I'll be on stage again at Lucy's Comedy Cafe. Love it. So thank you so much for being out here tonight. You know what? Let's be honest with each other. So I'm an addict. So hello, my name is Bryn. All right, we know everyone who's been to meetings now. And I am addicted to the Food Network. When my husband's sleeping, I sneak into the kitchen and I have a little one-on-one time with Bobby Flay, who, if you ask me, is rather easy on the eyeballs. Did you know he dropped out of school? So he dropped out of school, and he's worth $30 million. Yeah, somewhere in the world, there's a high school counselor saying, yeah, I was off base on that. He also, he has a show that's called Beat Bobby Flay. I'd like to beat, you do? Okay, good. I wouldn't mind beating Bobby Flay off. Don't tell my husband that, but okay. Yeah, you got it. But you know what? I mean, he's a cool guy. Bobby Flay's a cool guy, and I'm a fan. I'm not like a stalker level or anything like that. He has a home in New York. He's been on Food Network since 1995. He has a home in New York by the studios. He has another home in Hollywood Hills with a 100-year-old olive tree. Yes, I know. He's been married 3 times, divorced 3 times. He has a beautiful daughter named Sophie. He had a big orange fuzzy cat named Nacho. And he prefers boxers, not briefs, and he should probably close his bathroom curtains. My husband is very supportive of my addiction to the Food Network. I mean, he's finding out about the whole Bobby Flay thing right now. But he bought me a cookbook for Christmas that is written by none other than Snoop Dogg. Yeah, you know, culinary genius Snoop Dogg. Which has such recipes in it as wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. That sounds like him. Which consists of scrambled eggs and bacon. Wow, you get a book. And but I guess if you think of the people that run with Snoop Dogg's crowd, that could be very novel. I've tried to make a few of his recipes, and I haven't gotten through any of them because there's something about like the mix of his herbs that I just kind of stare off into space and giggle at my lava lamp. And yeah, I eat dinner out of the dry cereal and from the box. So anyway, my husband is he's very supportive. He and I met a little later in life, and I lovingly refer to him as my cockroach because nothing can kill him. He has been in combat. He has beat big, ugly cancer. And when I turn on the kitchen light, he scurries behind the refrigerator. Thank you. So because of his big, ugly cancer, we were told we were not going to be able to have children. So you can imagine the eyebrows raised in my direction when, I'm pregnant. Well, Bryn, wow, you've been on a lot of business trips lately. Yeah, no, just don't tell Brian, okay? Don't tell him. And we had a kid. We had an amazing beautiful daughter, and she's awesome. And but a few years later, we had another one. So we have number one, number two of these kiddos, and they're both girls. Number one she's like my little Mary Poppins. She's like practically perfect in every way. And then number two is pretty much embodies all the reasons that they tell you in the hospital not to shake the baby. Number one wants to be a neurologist because she wants to find the cure and cause for Alzheimer's. Number two, I think, is going to be a stripper because she comes home and the clothes just find everywhere. It's like there are socks over here, there's a shirt over there. I found a pair of her pants in the neighbor's yard. I'm not kidding. I found a pair of her pants in the neighbor's yard. And so there are a lot of questions there. One, how did a pair of pants get in the neighbor's yard? Two, why didn't the neighbors notice that a pair of pants were in the neighbor's yard? But they have 8 kids, so they have 400% more children than I do. So they can't keep track of who pants are whose. Anyway, where was I going with this? This was wonderful. Thank you so much. Anyway, they're awesome. And my husband is a very loving and supportive man. Number 2 is also a Girl Scout. Anyone want any Girl Scout cookies? Because I've got plenty in my car right now. The Girl Scout Girl Scout Cookies is the largest girl-led entrepreneurship program in the world. And I'm here to call out bullshit. It's the parents, 100%, it's the parents. And the parents drag their kids off the screen in January to go door to door. The parents, tally all the cookies. We, sorry, I love this so much. But we get the cookies. We get them off the truck, and we do all of that stuff. And then who gets the money? Yeah, they do. And so my daughter was like, I want to sell 15 more boxes in order to get another fanny pack. I will buy you a Kate Spade set of luggage in order for me not to sell another 15 boxes for you to get this fanny pack. Okay? It's all right. It's all right. She's good. I had some other amazing things to say tonight, and I apologize. I'm freezing up right now. But thank you so much.
Now we're going to hear some more comedy from Samantha Chiappone. I hope I didn't butcher your name too badly.
Hi, everyone. I'm Samantha Chiappone. You were close. I'm going to talk about something crazy. Dog adoption. I got my dog from a kennel, so I handed them the money. They handed me the dog, no questions asked. Adopting from a rescue is so much harder than I thought it would be. Oh my God. 2 applications and a home visit in, and I was like, F this, I should have just had another baby. And I'm a single mom, so that's saying a lot. But seriously, why is the dog adoption process so thorough? I have birthed 2 human babies, and not once did someone have to come to my house, take a tape measure to my fence, or make sure that I had a home at all before they let me leave the hospital with those babies. They just handed them to me like, we pulled this out of you, guess it's yours now. The only requirement before you can leave is that you can put it in a car seat. I failed that test. Have you tried to install a car seat recently? It's impossible. There's multiple seatbelt holes, layers of foam attached by Velcro, an anchor, which is a nautical term, I think, and two things that look like jumper cables, and I didn't know which end of the baby they got plugged into. Is it right, left, right foot, negative, left, positive, whatever. The hospital, thankfully, put the car seat in the car. I just had to put the baby in the seat, so whew, I got to leave with my babies. But after you leave the hospital, they don't care where you go. I could have taken those babies to the cardboard box in the alley that I called my home, and they would not have cared. But a dog? You can't raise a dog in a cardboard box. No, no, no. They are way too regal of creatures. And honestly, I feel like the trauma would just be lost on them. You know, dogs get skittish and mean through trauma. Humans, we need our trauma. It helps us out later in life. Like if I didn't have my trauma, who would circle the block 3 times to triple check that my garage door was closed? That's right, no one. So boy, am I lucky to have those trust issues with everyone, including myself. And my anxiety, what would I do with all of this extra energy if I wasn't worrying about everyone and everything all the time? Honestly, I probably would have ended up in prison for something ridiculous like roller skating in an undesignated area of a national park, which is a federal crime. Did you know that? It's a federal crime. It's kind of crazy. Speaking of prison, there's an area on the applications where you have to fill something out so they can run a background check on you, so they can make sure that you're not a criminal. As it turns out, if you're a criminal, you can have as many human babies as you want. You can even have your babies while in prison. You cannot, however, have a golden retriever. That's where they draw the line. No dogs for you. Have fun with your babies. Try not to break anything, but if you do, we don't care because they're not dogs. I knew dogs had more value than humans from a very young age. I can trace it pretty much all the way back to when I found out as a kid that my aunt was making steak and chicken for her dogs every night for dinner. You know what I had for dinner most nights? Fish sticks from Aldi. And not the Aldi of today with its gourmet line of foods. No, no, no. The Aldi of the 90s, which was ghetto as hell, and everything tasted like dog food. Something fishy was going on there because I hated dinner time, but man, was my hair shiny. Thank you. So I started my search for my new dog on petfinder.com, which is this awesome site with all of these profiles on dogs in your area. And I'm scrolling through these profiles, and there's so much helpful information. They're trying to find permanent, loving homes for these dogs. And I can't help but wish, as I'm scrolling, that humans were this honest about themselves on their dating profiles. Like, it's super helpful to know that Skittles can't be in a home with young children and is bad with cats. You would not find that out about a human until you're 6 months into the relationship. And all of a sudden, Chad doesn't like kids and is allergic to cats. He's also neutered, so there's 6 months of my life down the tube. I once saw a Pet Finder profile for a dog that was, this is a direct quote, a total couch potato. If I saw that on a man's dating profile, I'd be like, nope, major red flag. But a dog? It's kind of the dream, right? Just a furry body that'll lay on the couch with its head in your lap while you watch Netflix? Who doesn't want that, you know? Unfortunately, some of us get confused, and we end up with a 2-legged idiot with a beard and a hairy chest on our couch instead, who doesn't have a job and can't communicate. But what are you gonna do? It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, and I'm pushing 252 in dog years, so. For those of you who can't do math, that's 36. Don't worry, I used a calculator. All of these applications all have something. It's a checkbox you have to check. that says if it's not working out and you're going to give up the dog, you have to return it to the hospital. I have sorry, not the hospital, the rescue. I have searched far and wide. There's not a single hospital that has a return policy on children. And I've kept my receipts. Those were expensive. But every once in a while, I like to weed through the hospital paperwork, just reminisce about those first wonderful days with my kids. What I'm really looking for is that checkbox. But no matter how many times I search, it doesn't show up, so oh well. People are really weird about their dogs. I was out with my friend one time, and she struck up a conversation with this total stranger about how exhausted she was because she'd just been up the last night, all night, with her 2 kids. My friend doesn't have any kids. She was talking about her 2 dogs. She carried on an entire conversation with this woman, reminiscing about colic and diaper rashes, letting this woman believe that she had human children at home. And this is the reason why when I meet a new person who's a parent, I have to clarify if they're talking about humans or dogs, like, oh, the terrible 2s are horrible. Wait till you get to 3-nagers. Oh my gosh, it's awful. By the way, could you just clarify for me, does your kid shit inside or outside? How about a leash? You got one of those? Never mind, that could go either way. How about dog food? Does your kid eat dog food? Oh, damn it, I ate dog food as a kid. No, they looked like fish sticks from Aldi, but it was definitely dog food. That's it for me. Thanks.
Thanks, ladies, for the much-needed dose of laughter, especially after we watched Trump today with, oh my God, I suddenly can't think of his name. Zelensky with 2 Ys, yep. All right, next up we have Julie Monroe. Is she ready? She's probably gonna sing songs and maybe share poetry. And she is definitely a fixture at the open mic.
Go ahead and stand. Thank you very much. Wow, what a night. What a really important night. I love Stage Left, I leave and I take little pieces of everything that people say with me and think about them really until the next time we meet. Just thinking a lot about what Deb was saying today. And it's about our history. And that's the neat thing here is we're telling history, we're sharing our hearts and souls, but we're telling history. And it might be in a 3-minute song, it might be in a poem, it might be in a story, might be in the jokes and the comedy, We're telling our stories, and I'm glad we have a place to do that, really important to do that. These times are hard. When Trump was elected, it was like, what can I do? What can I do? And I'm still searching for that answer, really. One thing that I did do, I heard that Bishop Moody speak, and I just thought it was so neat. And, her just saying, be merciful. And I thought, I really like that. So I did have bumper stickers printed up saying that. There's some over there if anybody wants them, and little stickers if you want to throw them on a guitar case. And it's just like, I want to carry a message that just says, let's be merciful. I think I want another bumper sticker that says, I love my brother and my sisters, right? Anyway, I thought I would, as I'm thinking about who I am and how I came to be who I am, I was thinking about a story I wrote a few years ago. So I'm actually going to read a little story here today. It's called Making Angels Cry. Vietnam was still raging when I was in 6th grade. I didn't understand it, and no one ever tried to explain it to me. I just saw the protesters on TV holding their signs that said, "Make love, not war." I knew that message wasn't about sex. I knew it was about creating love, some kind of love. At church, we had folk masses, and I even sang along while agreeing completely that love is but a song we sing, and fear is the way we die. You can make the mountains ring, or make the angels cry. My uncle had died in Vietnam on Christmas Day, just a few years earlier, when I was still but a child, so I knew about making angels cry. I suppose that that's when I became a hippie, a protester, and a disappointed anti-government kind of child. I had so many doubts about the adults in charge of my world. Kennedy had been assassinated. I saw my mother fall to her knees and weeping in front of our black and white TV. And then, in 1974, I remember babysitting a kid down the block. I was sitting on their couch, sipping a Coke, watching TV as Nixon resigned from office. I wanted to believe that it was all going to work out somehow, but it was like a thread was being pulled out from a skein of yarn, and it couldn't be pushed back in. My parents had gotten divorced, and my neighbor Bobby, who lived in the house behind me, got drafted to Vietnam too. My mom used to climb the fence sometimes and go and drink with Bobby's mom. I don't know why she did that, because my dad had slept with Bobby's mom quite a few times before Bobby left for boot camp, before my parents got divorced. I can't imagine that that didn't matter to my mother, but maybe my mom cared about Bobby's mom anyway. Sometimes I would sit in the kitchen at Bobby's house with my mom and Bobby's mom while they drank, and I would look at pictures of Bobby that were sitting on the table in a shoebox. I admired Bobby's military handsomeness. He looked so grown up at 18. There were also a lot of jungle pictures with him in camouflage and letters that he had sent home from Vietnam. I remember being bored with the drunken adult talk, and so I escaped to Bobby's garage for some relief. Bobby's sister had a little record player in there, and I lay on the floor of that garage listening to another Bobby sing, Bobby Vinton. Lonely, I'm Mr. Lonely. Repeatedly, the needle would lift up and off the end of the record and then fall back onto the record to begin again. Oh, I'm a soldier, a lonely soldier, away from a home, from no wish of my own. It was the same way for my Uncle Larry. He was drafted too. I missed my neighbor Bobby, and I worried about him. I didn't want him to die like my Uncle Larry did. One night, Bobby's mom gave me one of Bobby's boot camp army jackets. I didn't have a jacket anyway because my dad didn't pay child support. I put my new jacket on and the sleeves touched my knuckles. But I loved that jacket because it was Bobby's. And I lived in that jacket from that moment on. I had a floppy brown leather hat that I lived in too. I was constantly called a hippie in a smug way by the kids at school. And once, some older man cornered me in a store and pointed his finger at me saying I had no respect for the government or the army and that I shouldn't be wearing a jacket for fashion. He scared me with his anger, but I couldn't tell him about Bobby or my Uncle Larry. I didn't even understand it myself, but it was about honor. It was about love, and it was about protest. That jacket was a flag I wore that flapped in the breeze of my culture. It was my patched bell-bottom jeans and my bare, dirty feet that cried, "Come on, people, now. Smile on your brother. Everybody get together. Right now. Right now." But they didn't get together. Bobby somehow made it out of Vietnam, alive, but addicted to heroin, I'd heard. He moved to a treehouse in California, but I never saw him again. His mom moved away, and so it was that Bobby never knew how much I cared about him and thought about him as I grew into his jacket, and his sleeves eventually met the years of my wrists. In time, I traded my floppy hippie hat for a cowboy hat. I kept my cigarettes in the left breast pocket and my pet rat in the right. I played my anti-war songs on the green, green grass of home. There have been many wars in my life. Vietnam, my parents' war, the Gulf War, Iraq War, Ukraine, now Gaza. Bobby's jacket fell apart on me, thread by thread, and now all that's left are the words that are still but a prayer to me. Love is but a song we sing, and fear is the way we die. You can make the mountains ring, or make the angels cry. Thank you.
And now we have Carol Obertu-Bessing. She says she has an eclectic selection of poems. She's going to share those.
Thank you. Hi. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Jeremy, Keith, Andy, everyone at Off Square Music. And thanks to everyone at Stage Left Cafe for giving us this opportunity. And be sure to donate to Off Square Music so we continue to have these opportunities, and tip generously at the back. I also want to thank everyone who's performing, but also those who are listening, including those who are out there on the live stream. I think sometimes we don't realize how important the listeners and the supporters behind the scenes are. And there's one in particular I'd like to ask everyone tonight to keep in your thoughts and prayers. David Child, a friend of mine, a friend of the Woodstock Folk Festival, and he was recently diagnosed with ALS. And he was out there, he and his wife Carol Ganser were out almost every night supporting musicians, going to shows and supporting them and supporting our festival all over the greater Chicago area and beyond. And without people like David, our community would be the poorer. So let us thank everyone who listens and supports the music. Just a quick note, Woodstock Folk Festival Spring Benefit Concert is Sunday, April 27th, and the theme is Becoming the United States of America, Songs of Liberty, Justice, and Unity. And there's a flyer about that over there on the wall. And then, of course, the festival coming up on Sunday, July 20th. The first poem I'm going to read is Days of Rage. And every day when I hear the news, I think I could add another stanza to this, but then we'd be here all night. Days of Rage. How can your hate be so deep that you want to bring pain to children? How can billionaires rule when so many go hungry? How can you marry an immigrant and then deport those who face death? How can you focus on retribution when bird flu is threatening lives and livelihoods? How can you stop medical research when lives depend on it? How can you continue to lie when the truth is right in front of you? How can you see the world in black and white when the colors of the rainbow are so beautiful? How can you be so selfish when kindness can be fulfilling? How can you take an oath to uphold the Constitution and then tear it apart? How can you consort with a Nazi sympathizer while the world remembers the horrors of Auschwitz? Where is your mind? Where is your heart? Where is your soul? Should we give up? Should we be quiet? Should we turn our heads? No, we must bear witness. We must speak out. We must take action for the sake of our souls, for the good of our neighbors, and for the future of our world. And as Terry said, it's an eclectic selection of poems tonight, so completely different. Mardi Gras is Tuesday, so this is my Mardi Gras poem, American Gumbo. When the saints go marching in, we're walking to New Orleans. It's a closer walk with thee. So let's do the Mardi Gras Mambo in celebration of our American gumbo. Find your fried shrimp po' boy, dig your dirty rice and beans, grab your beignet and muffaletta. Get the crawfish etouffee combo in celebration of our American gumbo. Step to the beat of the crew of Crescent City dames. Fly your hanky in the second line. Move to the Cajun two-step. Dance all night to the sultry limbo in celebration of our American gumbo. Italian and German, Dutch and Irish, Cuban and Finnish, Mexican and Polish, Ukrainian and Swiss, Gambian and Indian, Chinese and Salvadoran, across a national zydeco in celebration of our American gumbo. The shallow Azov and the deep Congo, the lengthy Nile and the winding Yangtze, the mother Mekong and the father Mississippi, the raging Ganges and the romantic Po, their peoples come to celebrate the American gumbo. The passion, the tears, the laughs, the fears, love, hate, jealousy, despair, sadness, joy, fragility, strength, all turning in our inner turbo in celebration of our American gumbo. Thank you. And the last poem I have for you tonight, I wrote earlier this month for the day the music died, February 3rd. That's the date of the plane crash in which Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and Richie Valens died. And that was in 1959. But this poem is much broader than that one day or that one incident. The day the music died. Was it the day Buddy, Richie, and the Big Bopper crashed, and we lost these pioneers of rock and roll? When our innocence was lost? When the music and the dancing stopped? Was it when Glenn died, and we were no longer in the mood, or listening to a moonlight serenade? A black shadow shrouded in mystery amid war? Was it when Jimmy, Janice, and Jim died? What were they seeking through their drugs? They who created an experience, took a piece of our hearts, and lit the fire within us. Was it when Elvis or Whitney died? Their success seemed to make them invincible. But even the love of the world did not give them the peace and joy they sought. Was it when John or Selena was shot, victims of so-called fans who betrayed them? Through their lives and music, they helped bridge cultures and taught us to imagine a better world. Was it when Michael died? He was a thriller from an early age, but living at Neverland Ranch was never quite enough. Was it when Nat or Bob died of cancer? They fought racism and sang of peace, whether by the Yuletide fire or the beach. They made us think and feel more deeply. Was it when Karen or George died? They fought to overcome their demons. They couldn't live their dance forever. But perhaps we've just begun to live and to grow. Was it when Patsy, Otis, Ricky, or John died, flying high, then taken down in their prime? May heaven have country roads and a garden party, and may they have sweet dreams on the dock of heaven. They are all tragic losses, but most insidious of all is when the music inside each of us dies. So let us join in song and never let the spirit of love, peace, and unity die. And I know that the music will not die as long as there are stellar songwriters like our next performer, Jim Gary, and so many of you who are in this room as well. Thank you and good night.
And speaking of the devil, singer, songwriter, storyteller extraordinaire Jim Gary.
I thought about it. Thank you, sir. Okay. Buddy Holly. Oh, try my guitar. Okay. Buddy Holly, I had a friend this week email me asking for some lyrics of Buddy Holly's. And that's when I found out that he had just lost his beloved wife last Friday. So I reached back in the archives to find a couple of songs that I remember his wife Donna used to ask me to play. And both these songs go back to John Denver a little bit. This first one, John Denver had recorded a song written by Brian Bowers called Berkeley Woman, about a woman in a rocking chair. And then he also wrote, or he recorded a song that his fiddle player wrote called Thank God I'm a Country Boy. So I kind of took those and kind of mashed them together with this little song that I wrote 50 years ago. Rocking chair girls, they got a funny way of making you feel. Hypnotize you as they rock and they reel, and get you chasing them after their heels. Oh, those rocking chair girls. Rocking chair girls, they got a special way of fixing their curls. Mesmerize you as they sway and they swirl. Around their finger they'll give you a twirl. Oh, those rocking chair girls. Yeah, they love you, man, like a nobody can. Take you down to the promised land. Make you love them till you cannot stand. And take you down there and love you again. Yes, sir. Rocking chair girls, you know they're Mother Nature's most precious pearls. No matter whose country's flag they unfurl, or they're the best lovers in all of the world. Oh, those rocking chair girls. Yeah, they love you, man, like a nobody can. Take you down to the promised land. Make you shout out, yes, I am. I am a rocking chair man. Rocking chair girls, they got a funny way of making you feel. They hypnotize you as they rock and they reel, and get you chasing them after their heels. Oh, those rocking chair girls. Thanks. Thank you. This one was influenced by John Denver, too. He was on Johnny Carson one night, and he made the mistake of telling people that he was a little over-enthusiastic on his wedding night, and he cracked a couple of his new bride's ribs in the process. So somebody showed up at one of his concerts with a sign saying, "You little rib cracker." And he was just like, "Leave me alone." But he did write songs about, of course, leaving on a jet plane and Goodbye Again, songs about being on the road. And in his live album, he actually talks about it, about being on the road and how hard it can be to be away from the people you love. And I'm just now imagining, what my friend Jeff is going through. Because suddenly the person that's been there for 45, 50 years isn't there anymore. And he's getting emails where his wife's corneas are going and things like that. But this is one of Donna's favorite songs of mine. I'm gonna do myself a favor, love you again tonight, love you with all of my might, love you till the morning light brings the dawn. I'm gonna do myself a favor and love you again tonight. Your smile's such a lovely sight. Make up for those lonely nights when I've been gone. Ashes of roses and a crystal blue eyes welcoming my return. Watching and waiting to gently supply more love than I'll ever earn. I'm gonna do myself a favor, love you again tonight, love you with all of my might, love you till the morning light brings the dawn. I'm gonna do myself a favor and love you again tonight. Your smile's such a lovely sight. Make up for those lonely nights when I'll be gone. Life on the road is never a very easy song to sing. The separation that it brings, another goodbye. I can feel the tears build in days before I go. You try not to let it show, you just can't hide. You're crying inside. I'm gonna do myself a favor, love you again tonight, love you with all of my might, love you till the morning light brings the dawn. I'm gonna do myself a favor and love you again tonight. Your smile's such a lovely sight. Make up for those lonely nights I must be gone. Come the dawn, I must be gone.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thanks, Jeff.
Okay, Kurt Lewis is next, and are you making your debut here, Kurt? I believe I am. Oh, making his debut, Kurt Lewis.
Do this one? Yeah. Thanks for the warning on the pop-free recorder. That's pretty cool.
It's nice.
Can I take this one? Yes, please. So this is my wife, Vicki, here helping us out. Vicki and I drove in from Rockford, Illinois. I've performed there for a long, long time, and just recently, I'll let you do that. Just recently started doing a lot of open mics there. A lot of my stuff gets pretty serious, and it is easier for me to just do a few serious songs and try to entertain people all night long. But I want to go over a couple things quickly. Your husband that was in World War II, that fought there. My son is a Delta Airlines pilot, but his passion is flying for the Commemorative Air Force out of Dallas. And he flew the lead C-47 that on the invasion of Normandy, the very lead C-47 that the Commemorative Air Force now flies. He ferried that over to that 80th anniversary. And they actually, after they did some of the ceremony stuff, the reenactors, the paratroopers, he actually flew the plane that some of those were jumping on. I want to show you a picture that he has of some of that. We're very proud of that. And with everything that's happening in the world today, we have failed teaching history in this country to multiple generations of people, I'm afraid. And I've tried to figure that out. I don't know if we start teaching it too early so that the kids, that when they're being taught some of the most history this country has, I believe they might be too young to appreciate the significance of it. And by the time it needs to be important to them, they've forgotten most of it, I'm afraid. We're seriously witnessing that today in this country, the lack of understanding about World War II, NATO, especially NATO. It's ridiculous what's happening. But the first thing I was going to do is about Vietnam. And I don't know if she's still here talking about Vietnam earlier. I was about 10 years old when Vietnam ended. I remember something very seriously had just finished. I didn't understand it. But about 10 years later, in my early 20s, I became... almost clinically, there's a thing called survivor syndrome, that soldiers, when they would lose their friends, their comrades in combat, and they would come home and they would suffer from the guilt that they would feel, that their friends did not make it, and they did make it. And what's strange is I didn't know anybody in Vietnam, but it affected me in a way that I could have been out of I can't say this out of respect for the soldiers that did come back with that, but it was hard for me to accept what had happened to these 19-year-old kids that were drafted. I wrote this song about the draft, that if you could personify, if I was the draft speaking to those 19-year-old kids, and I try to teach it to younger people. Most of what I do, I'm trying to get younger people to appreciate things like this. So when I explained to them that the draft was a lottery system, that if you put your birthday in a goldfish bowl, and they picked out your birthday, you were next in line, they'd hand you a weapon, and you go off in the jungle trying to kill people. And this is about the draft. Is that your leader speaking? Did you hear what he just said? You had become a number. Your birthday has been read. It's all right. You heard your mama say. They're coming for the children. Your number's called today. Sorry, but it's time to go. You're 19. It's time to go. The TV read your number. You had to cry out loud. Your mother quit so easy, but your father was so proud. It's all right. We know what you can do. We're coming for the children, and your friends will be there too. I'm sorry, but it's time to go. You're 19. It's time to go. There's no rhyme or reason, no choice to refrain. It's not a war to be won, just a fight to save your name. It's a call to the willing. Your time has come. Let the call of a number put a bullet in their gun. See, the rain is falling, and it holds you to the ground. See the road before you, but you keep on falling down. It's all right. We know what you can do. Do not dismay your falling, 'cause your friends will be there too. I'm sorry, but it's time to go. You're 19. It's time to go. Thank you. Part of what made me sensitive to some of this stuff, I was diagnosed bipolar as a teenager, and this is in the very early ages where younger people weren't diagnosed with this illness the way they are now. Doctors didn't know a lot about it, scientists didn't know that much about it, and we're still learning a lot about it. But modern medicine saved my life, and to this day, it saves my life. And speaking of modern events, there's someone in the administration now that thinks that the medications that I take should be discontinued and that I should be put in a home to grow my own food. That's where we're at. I'm not quite worried about that yet, but that's where we're at. I was well enough for a while to volunteer for a suicide prevention hotline called Contact that was in Rockford. I don't know if there's similar things around here. But they would steer the bipolar, at the time it was called manic depression, but they would steer the bipolar calls to me if the person that was trying to help them was having problems. And I wrote this song, it's about the illness and my personal experiences with it. But this particular young girl that I took a call from one night, I spent over 2 hours with her on the phone, and she's telling me about her child, her daughter, and her husband, and later on, I realized, she shouldn't be alone. I said, well, where's your husband right now? And she said, he's been sitting next to me. Still bothers me. He's been sitting next to me the whole time. And I realized I mean, I'm used to what an empty place that is. But here, her husband had her call to talk to someone to try to save her life, and he's sitting right next to her. So if you know somebody with this illness, it's not like regular depression at all. Bipolar illness is, it's an empty place that it's hard to describe. I feel a strong connection with people that do have this illness. I wrote this song called Deeper Shade of Blue. Can you tell me what I have to say? Can you tell me what I must do? I don't want to live this way anymore. If I don't hear tomorrow, then I won't feel the pain. I won't feel the pain. Is there nothing you can do? Oh no, I'm in a deeper shade of blue. Can you tell me why it hurts so bad? Can you tell me what I have done? I don't want to be so sad anymore, anymore. I need to hear an answer, 'cause time won't heal the pain. Time won't heal the pain. Is there nothing you can do? Oh no, I'm in a deeper shade of blue. Hold me if you can. Find your way to me tonight. Oh, take me as I am. I may be alright. I may be alright. If I could only hold your hand, if I could only feel your heart. On my own 2 feet I'd stand. On my own, on my own. I have raised my voice to heaven, but they don't know my name. They don't know my name. Is there nothing you can do? Oh no, I'm in a deeper shade of blue. I'm in a deeper shade of blue. Thank you guys for having us. I'll be back again. Okay, thank you guys.
Well, we all have our narratives. It is powerful. So next up, Waddle and Dub, our husband and wife folk music duo, great songwriters, and they have some actually pretty profound ballads that they put together. Very inspired by our times.
We might be short of mic here. That does not plug in, right?
They
Oh,
both
it
plug
does?
in.
Awesome. Okay. We both plug in. That way.
We got these fancy ones now. Yeah. We're doing yours first, right?
Yeah, we'll do mine.
All right. Get that one out of the way. All right. Cool. I got the right words. I got the right side up. You want to introduce this, or
Okay. Hi.
we do one serious one and one peppy one?
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's just a reminder to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And do what you have to do to take care of yourself. To be around, do what else we have to do, right?
Right.
For me, that's taking a walk. When I can take no more, I walk out to the field, the gravel path, the quiet breeze, the budding green of earth revealed. My heart to restore, I walk out to the field, the morning sun, the dewy grass, the blue sky, ask nothing of me. The monarch rests on the milkweed tall with no agenda hidden. The blackbird jests with the joyful call. Your worries here are forbidden. When to the fight I must return, I walk home from the field. My mind is clear, my vision new. I can't be broken, my soul is healed. I can't be broken, I am steel. Thank you.
All right. We got a title for this now, don't we?
Do we?
Yeah. For this one.
This one.
We don't have the title for that one yet.
No, we don't.
We have a title for this
We do
one.
have a title, so thanks to Jesse.
Jesse. It's called the Jimmy Carter Hammer Song. That's all.
See that hammer over there? There's still work to do. Who will be the one to pick it up? Is it me or is it you? Take it in your hand. You can feel the weight. Make it sing like John Henry did as he chipped away at hate. See that hammer over there? There's still work to do. Who will be the one to pick it up? Is it me or is it you? Pound against the walls, built so wide and tall. Break those walls down, brick by brick, till love surrounds us all. See that hammer over there? There's still work to do. Who will be the one to pick it up? Is it me or is it you? Might be a man named Hank, could be a man named Pete, could be anyone down the street, could be hey, you or me. See that hammer over there? There's still work to do. Who will be the one to pick it up? Is it me or is it you? 1,000 people on the street will lead to something more. You could be like a president, building houses for the poor. See that hammer over there? There's still work to do. Who will be the one to pick it up? Is it me or is it you? Is it me or is it you?
Or maybe both of us. All of us.
All of us.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
It's all of us. It's all of us. What?
I got the word there.
Thanks, everybody, for being such an attentive audience. Give yourself a hand. We're going to close the evening with Bob Smetana, and he's going to sing, I think, with a guitar. I'm sorry, Bob, if you were here. It's been a while. All right. Take it away, Bob.
So those poems about the dog was so great. So I wrote a song about my dog. It's almost all true. I got a dog named Rascal. He used to play my guitar. Well, I had a dog named Rascal. One day he ran off and he stole my car. I got no dog, I got no car, I got no love. It's the way things are. I got no dog and I got no car. I'm a lonely old man, it's the way things are. I'm a lonely old man, it's the way things are. My wife had a cat named Puka. He used to climb up in a tree. My wife had a cat named Puka. And she loved that cat more than she loved me. I got no cat, I got no car, I got no love. It's the way things are. I got no cat and I got no car. I'm a lonely old man, it's the way things are. I'm a lonely old man, the way things are. Well, I had a dinosaur named Rexy. They used to feed him meaty bones. Well, I had a dinosaur named Rexy. One day he ran off and he wrecked my home. I got no dog and I got no car, no dinosaur. It's the way things are. I got no dog and I got no car. I'm a lonely old man, it's the way things are. I'm a lonely old man, it's the way things are. 'Cause I got no dog, I got no car, I got no love. It's the way things are. I got no dog and I got no car. I'm a lonely old man, it's the way things are. I'm a lonely old man, it's the way things are. Okay, so I had the best thing in the universe happen today. It was almost the best thing in the universe. So I have a granddaughter. Her name's Verity. She's the cutest granddaughter in the world. And one day I was putting her to sleep, and I sang a song about pickles on her head. And then I forgot about it. And then she's like, pickles on her head today. I'm like, I don't know what the song is. So I had to write a song and improvise it off my head. So I'll play it. It's like a minute long. Pickles on your head, pickles on your head. Almost time to go to bed. Pickles on your head. Donuts on your knee, donuts on your knee. I let you sleep out in the tree. Donuts on your knee. Slippers on your feet, slippers on your feet. They're super cute and oh so neat. Slippers on your feet. So pickles on your head. Got some pickles on my head. It's almost time to go to bed. Pickles on your head. Can I play one more since I was so slow? Okay. This is a fun song. I think it's a fun song. This one was fun to write because it's a country song. But I heard Paul Simon give an interview where he said he writes a song by finding one true thing and then making up the rest. So I did this. On the wall was a picture from Arizona. One she took so many years ago. Blue sky painted against the mountains. The valley full of dust so very dry. So take me back to Arizona. I wanna see those hills before I die. Far away from this cold city, where steel mountains cover up the sky. call the mountain range superstitions. The legend of the gold is hidden there. A lost miner could not find his way home. And spend his lifetime wandering the air. So take me back to Arizona. I wanna see those hills before I die. Far away from this cold city, where steel mountains cover up the sky. The stars roll around in Arizona. Not a hint of streetlight anywhere. At night you hear the silence of the deserts. And you won't find the city groaning there. But I don't know how I lost my way. But I'm gone. I'm leaving today. Yes, I'm on my way back home. So take me back to Arizona. The one I love is waiting there for me. Out beneath the stars, out on the desert, with open arms, she's waiting there for me. Along the wall was a picture of Arizona.
Well, this was a really special evening, wouldn't you agree? Let's have a round of applause for all of the performers who shared tonight. Don't forget to get your tickets for Bad Penny, March 7th. Head over to offsquaremusic.org. That's the same site where you can sign up for next month's open mics. Drive safe, all.